What's up, guys? Welcome back to Veteran Aquatics. My name is Dylan, and today we're going to talk about breeding African peacock cichlids. Before we go ahead and get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in a minute. So let's talk about African peacock cichlids. They are generally native to Lake Malawi from Africa, and they come in many different color varieties. Just in this tank alone, I have 3 separate kinds. I have blue regal, which are these nice blue guys here. There are a lot of different OB peacocks, and floating around here somewhere, there is a bunch of red empress. There's one of the females, and the male is around here somewhere. So I have one male and a bunch of females. So let's talk about kind of the setup to breed them. Generally speaking, African cichlids in general like rock work, caves, places for them to hide. Peacocks don't need as much as, say, something like Mbuna, which are rock-dwelling cichlids and need tons of them. But let's talk about the setup to breed. So an ideal setup is something like a 55-gallon tank, 1 male, and 5 or 6 females. What that does is it means the male doesn't have to vie for breeding rights with them because he's the only male in the tank, and you get to watch the females all get their mouths full of eggs. So speaking of that, peacock cichlids are mouth brooders. What that means is the female will lay the eggs, the male will fertilize them, the female will then carry them around in her mouth until they're ready to go. So I've already had a couple of OBs with mouthfuls of eggs, and I've stripped them. So I'm going to show you how to go about that. I'm also going to kind of show you what a female with a mouthful of eggs looks like. So we went ahead and caught our female. This time what we're stripping is a blue regal. And there's the female right there. Now I can already see the little babies swimming around in her gills, but you'll see she's kind of got like a fat jaw there. And that means she's holding eggs. So before you want to touch these fish and before you strip them, you want to make sure your hands are wet. You don't want dry hands. So we're just going to pick her up. And hold her kind of like this. Now, we're going to take what we're putting the babies or the eggs in, and we're going to go ahead and put her over it. Now this is going to be kind of hard to see, but we're going to take our thumbnail and we're going to use it to pry her mouth open. Now, we should be able to get her to spit a lot of them just by holding it open. So she's already spitting out a whole bunch. She's got a mouth full. And we can give her a couple of little shakes. Now it helps if you stick their head in the water and kind of shake them around a little bit. It gives the babies somewhere to go. They feel like they have an exit as opposed to holding them in the air when they most certainly do not. I think we've got most of them, but one more try, ow, and we'll check. I just got poked. Oh, she's still spitting them out. Still spitting them out. You'd be amazed how many of these they can hold in just like a 3-inch fish. Alright, so we got most of them, so we're going to return the female to the tank. She's been through enough stress. Now let me show you what we pulled out. Now there's a whole bunch of fry. These guys have actually pretty much digested their entire yolk sac. So they definitely were right at the end of needing to be pulled out. These guys are going to need fry food. Fortunately, I already have a bunch of blue regal babies, so I have a place for them to go. So here you can see this is 2 spawns, or 2 mouthfuls. So the ones that are bigger were born a couple of days prior, and then the smaller ones kind of laying there to the bottom are the ones we just stripped. Alright, So there's 30, 35 of them in there, easy. So we'll let them sit in here in this little breeder box for a while. It allows flow through, so I don't need to worry about doing water changes for them or anything like that. We'll do crushed up flake food, or I have northfin fry starter. Probably the best thing that you can feed fry is baby brine shrimp. It's high in fat, high in protein, and it helps the babies grow fast and healthy. So that's pretty much it. I mean, they're not hard. Male, 5 females, 55-gallon tank, a sponge filter or 2, some rocks, and just let them rock. Just watch, because the males will harass the females, and sometimes the females are really weak after you strip them, so you may want to put them in their own tank to give them a chance to recover. It really, truly, and sincerely is that easy to strip a female OB. Now, if they were eggs and not fry, I would buy an egg tumbler, put it in a little tank with a little bit of methylene blue. Methylene blue helps keep fungus away. It's used often with things like angelfish and discus eggs to keep them from getting that white fungus. So you would just leave them in the egg tumbler, turn the air on low to kind of get some flow about the eggs, which also helps keep fungus away, until they were free swimming, and then you can take them out and put them in a breeder box. My females are really good about holding on to their fry until they're free swimming. So I give them the full 2 or 3 weeks before I take them out and decide that I'm going to strip them. Now, instead of your thumbnail, you can use a quarter or a nickel or a dime. You just need something to kind of pry their mouth open to make them spit out the eggs or spit out the fry. Right? It's that easy. Just be careful not to hurt them. Open their mouth just enough to get the fry out or get the eggs out. You don't want to break their jaw by mistake. Stripping a fish is really stressful for it, and sometimes you can lose the female. That's why I would recommend putting them in a separate tank so they can heal up and kind of de-stress. Imagine getting held by a giant, getting your mouth hung open, and having all of your babies taken away from you. You get the idea. So that's kind of it for today, guys. I just wanted to show you and kind of explain how to breed African peacock cichlids and how to go about harvesting their fry or harvesting their eggs and the aftercare. Just some general tips for African cichlids in general. They like harder water. A pH of like 7.6 to 8.0 is ideal. My water comes out the tap at about 6.9, but between the rocks and the argonite sand I have in there, it keeps the pH a little bit higher. That's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed it, if you learned something, or if you have any more questions I wasn't able to answer for you, let me know down in the comments below. I tried my best to be as thorough as I can. I know you couldn't really see me stripping her, which would have been ideal, but it's really not that hard. Like I said, just hold her, keep your pointer finger and your thumb small enough where the hole is she can't get out. So you want it a little smaller than her head. You just want her mouth sticking out. Take your finger, pry her little mouth open, and kind of dunk her in the water until she spits out all the fry. It's that easy. All right, guys, that's it. I'm out of here. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.